implement the character class. So we have our Android project side by side with the PC version. There's always like mic difficulties. I don't even know when it goes out on this one. Both PCs have like some sort of error. So we got our start button. We have to make more things disappear here, but that's like besides the point. That'll come with time. My microphone difficulties. Check that OBS is just still streaming the audio. I have to keep double checking that. That's always like a subscribe thing and like. Alright, so after game goes into game mode, we have to tell our global game class to do stuff. So I wrote this other class. It's the game start class or something. Or it's in the game state folder. Added quite a little bit to this project. It's hard to explain. Actually, I made up a really crazy, cool input modifications that like needed more debugging. No need more debugging as we make the virtual gamepad. Pretty sure I'm going to go back to it and change maybe button up and button down. This is the content folder. What I need to do is just start by showing how to do the game player class. In this instance, I will have to first start by recompiling the PC version and just showing that it works. We've had some tissue thing. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, because the input was acting up all weird before I rebooted. It was just like clogged. It seemed like, I don't know what the issue there was, but it had something to do with the PC just being bogged down by all the input. Because like this phone is really good at accepting input. So let's first we'll open one of the other games that like has a working character, so we have something to work off of. So it was the version 3 of the game with platforms and level loading. And that's the other thing, you have to get like platforms and the character kind of at the same time. And I do want sat collisions, premeditated jumping or pre-jump, and peyote jump. That's like after jump. Whether or not we'll get that far is like gonna be interesting. Yeah, so game prototype 3. Let's just load the main file. So we have this open. Yeah, and this one, it's got cameras. Oh yeah, then there's also the camera issue. We'll figure out that next. Because there's a Quadraturnian camera and there's a 2D camera. I might just redesign a whole new camera. And, okay. Since this compiled, let's just load it up for a second. We don't even have a player character. Usually it just starts by cutting out a sprite. So we know sprites work in this engine. We could make the exit button work. There's a settings button and a map editor button. There's no multiplayer button yet. So when it's pressed, it's like teal. When it's being pressed, it's blue. On PC, it works fine, but on Android, I managed to really make it crazy, stupid, unknown behavior. But it's kind of known. It actually goes to all 4 states. It just Who knows what happens after that? But it goes into the game state, so I'm just like, so whatever, just start coding the next part and then just recode that part. There's also a game submenu, like when you press play, you don't just initially go into the game, but this is what we're going to have to start with. We have to start somewhere. We need the main game to start working. So this is the other game. This is where we're going to base it off of. There's platforms that are hollow and not hollow, and then there's a camera. And remember how to switch cameras. Okay. There's a background shader too. We should also try to design what was called background layers. I forget what they're called. Yeah, there's no level finish yet here. Very simple kind of setup. There's no duck. So it's this. Versus this. It's kind of quite a difference. This one is a more advanced engine because it has text rendering. You see the FPS counter is kind of going down because all this spam here can show nothing. It's like, oh, don't do anything. And there's even more spam right now in Android. So let's load up the Android version. I should have actually done that earlier. Android Studio is really like it's not even detecting the device. Oh great, we're having device issues. Let's see why. I can just reboot the device. That's usually the good solution. It like saves a lot of headaches. Let's just do that, because some devices, I have more devices, we could test this out on multiple devices as we go along. Let me tell this one to reboot and I'll just go get the other device. I have this device. You can see that it's working because it's playing Art of War. This is my Art of War device. It's always like, oh good, I got another chest. I really need to start implementing chests and stuff. But I need to get the game character to work and jump, and then I'll start doing all the cool database stuff that I always dream about. On this device, I have to go, this is a little more advanced device. It says it's 14, but it's really 13. And the guts of it all. Android 14. It's like, how do I even get to developer mode on this? Okay, wireless debugging enabled. Connect to this network. It's on the wrong network. It's not going to work. We're going to need to switch networks here. It has to be on the same Wi-Fi. It's kind of funny how this works. This device, though, doesn't allow for touching. It, like, wants a SIM card. So we'll get the other device. So there's also another device and another device. The bigger device that's older. I can prove that it works even on, I should get the tablet here in a second. But really we need to start working on the character then. This nonsense. I gotta QR code it. See if it impairs. The other device is rebooting. You can tell because there's USB sounds. Okay, we got the Xiaomi up. Let's just scan the QR codes now. Okay. The Xiaomi's back and the Nokia. Let's try the Xiaomi. I haven't tried it in a while. Okay, so this device is the C8, Android 10, I believe. The other one's 9. I usually work with the 9, the Nokia. I think it's in system or something, developer options. So 2 of these will go wireless debugging. The other one is, this Xiaomi used to be really good. It's API level 33. I have to also memorize the API levels. Oh good, connected, nice. It's not going to compile because of this period right here. This is where I left off. This click true thing is just, I don't know why I detected hover again, but yeah, this is what it came down to. Normalized coordinates. They were actually right. There was just something else that was wrong being passed in from the input state. Alright, yeah, so there's a period and then Clang's mad. We remove the period. Should be able to compile just fine. Can we get the other device? Now it's like the phones are taking over. It's not enough room. Alright, so now we have 3 devices. We get the 4th. There's also the 5th. And there's actually like an Android API 19 here on the desk. Installation failed because it could not be installed. USB, PS, USB, this, fuck. This Xiaomi has this stupid ass problem. It has security garbage. Let me see. We may have to run ABD to install it on Xiaomi. Before that, let's just make the character class. Alright, so Xiaomi is the one that's with the long name. And my mouse is acting up again. Damn it, it's all the toenails' fault. I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe there's a hair in the laser. That's always like an issue. I really need the mouse to work good. I need to get another mouse. I just got a mouse for the other computer. Pairing the other device. So if we hit plus, we get our standard good device. Kind of good. The OpenGL on this is a little, and it's funny because I don't have mouse and keyboard turned on, but it always works, which is crazy. So if I publish it to this one, it's just like headless, easy. It's just so fast to work with. Yeah, just like boom, there we're in. So that's like, has been pressed, is that blue one. It's different on Android because the logic's all different. And it had to be, I guess, because touch and clicks are a little different. Okay, so it disables the loading screen too, and that happens, except for this part. which we could disable. I could show how we do that. Just a demonstration, but let's do grinding here. Okay, so the first part of the grind will be, let's open the game start class. I called it game start because it's going to start the game up in terms of the code. And later we could refactor, get rid of it, and do all the fun stuff. Where are we going to put the character class? Where's the character class in the other one? We should move this. I'll just keep it here too. Alright. Because this one worked with the sprite manager, and it had a player renderer and a player controller. Okay, so there was a player subclass in Kulo engine. I don't want to look at them because they're just going to mess me up. All I need to know is the concept. If I know the concept is have a controller and have a renderer. There could also be an animator, I guess, which is the renderer. I don't know. Alright, so let's just make a new file. Do the pragma once type game, Kulo game player, I guess. Player animator. I have to call it something different than the other engine. Class player animator. Let's just make it short for now. Not great, all crazy. And in game start, we'll initialize player animator. Where are we going to save this? Kulo engine. We'll put player 2 because I already have a player in the other one. I have to kind of make it sure I'm not colliding with my other part of the engine. And it's also creating garbage, but I don't care. And it's like one of the powerful things is just restarting a lot of stuff from scratch. It's really kind of annoying sometimes, but after you just get over the fact and recode it, and it just turns out so much nicer. Like the over button, start button class has so much garbage in it. It will have to be restarted at one point, but once I work on the other buttons, they're like from scratch almost, and they're at a point where it's just rendering them, so it'll be a good restart. Alright, so player animator class, that's it, we're done. Okay. Alright, so what we have to do, let's load up the other buttons. Look at the buttons, and like, I don't want to use loading UI, I want to use min UI. Let's use map editor button as a template. It's not too long. And there is an error in here I caught. This is not being set right. Since it has an update function, we'll use this and I'll fix the error. So we have a create quad panel. Creates the quad and updates it. Okay. So that's what we'll go in here. We have to do because we have the did. Alright. So we'll have a time elapsed update function. Obviously. But before that we'll have a quad create player sprite. Now the other one had a sprite manager, which was kind of cool. and kind of stupid because I don't know. It's like, does it handle all the sprites? No. Some of their stuff was doing other stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, they just arbitrarily memorized everything going to CPU. I have to kind of hear on another device. Okay, let's see what the hell is going on here. Set your Android plus 11 device to pairing mode. What Wi-Fi is this on? It's probably on the wrong Wi-Fi. Yeah, of course it is. Fuck. Let's do all that. So the first thing we'll have to do is add this player animator class into the engine, both on PC side and Android. First we need to rename this and just kind of do our housekeeping. Make sure the class names are all good. We want to rename this from create quad panel to create player sprites. It's a little different concept here. Because we could have multiple player sprites we could attach. Let's just create the base sprite first. And then we'll work on poop and farts and stuff. Because this is a nasty, disgusting game about fucking farting and beans and jalapenos and fucking toenails and shit. That's like the theme. Now for type, yeah, we need to make a type. We need to like define some kind of fucking value. Let's just go define. Set this guy into the 2000 player sprites DB type. Let's just set it to 2000. We could have a lot of different shaders for this guy. So it is good to keep him somewhere in the main mix of things. We may be colliding with something else, but we'll figure that out as we go along. Then we have to fix update function. Update function is just completely wrong. Not completely, but it's got issues. So we need a Z, and the W is actually on the wrong array. So it's like good. This doesn't like, I forget. This has alpha blending and C ordering. C def buffer doesn't work. So the Z can be actually anything. It is actually the color. Yeah, it's color. Let's import the colors. Yeah, it'd be so much more fun to work on a map editor first, just conceptually. So we have the UV coordinates, this. We need all of this stuff. We need the element data. We need the sprite ID. So we kind of need like all of this. And we need the type. Yes, so we have to boilerplate copy paste a lot. We will change the order of this. Sprite ID player. I'll show how the sprite ID works. It's refusing to join Wi-Fi. Okay. I cannot see because shit's in the way. Okay. Let's load up our sprite map in Blender. These UV coordinates will be changed automatically, automagically, out of all the cutouts I made. All right. This is why we needed this RGB. So R will go into Z. Instead of Z position, let's just put R in here. Z position is not really being used. It works kind of with the ordering of how you input this, how you instantiate it. That's how Z works. Because it's a buffer. It's a Z bufferless engine. Whether or not this is good, maybe for Raspberry Pi it's a little good. It's bad because when you use this card, shit is bad. But there's alpha blending, so like you can use the texture. So I might have to modify a little bit how the texture works. Just use maybe two textures, one for the, I don't know. Come on, read the code. Some of the cameras on these phones are like legitimately made out of styrofoam. Okay, let that cook. It probably won't work the first time around. This bottom offset thing we probably should not need. Yeah, we should just use matrix multiplication. Let's just make a player rotation matrix, just for fun. You do that, it's the float 16, or vec4, or I mean mat 4.4, which is basically a float 16 array. Alright, so we have color type. We're passing in the color. UV coordinates. This is our instantiation function. Our update function is like a little broken still. I think I was fixing it. Yeah, we wanted to put color R in here. They can have this subparameter, which is interesting. So we know if we wanted to have the player kind of be like super sonic. I did mess with some of the Sonic code on how to get him to do the loop-de-loop. It sort of worked. It should be cool to get a look at that after we get platforms to work, but it's like a 2-month grind to get that far, I think. Really, it's a 2-day grind, but it's like the 2 days you don't do anything but sit at the computer, waste all your junk food money. Alright, so these are the these are the 3 elements. We need the fourth, the W component, which is actually W, which actually goes into vertices main, not UV. There's only 2 VBOs in this engine. 2 vertex array buffers with 4 floats. So it gives the Mali and all these like A63 Cortex GPUs, a break. So this will be the other color. What's after R? It's B, RGB, RGB. So this will be G and Z for the offset. But there's an offset for the position, and then these are the vertice offsets, and this dot is the attribute offset. It's really confusing, but once you get used to it, you're like, oh, cool, whatever. But even I mess up on this somehow. Alright, so that's exactly now like this. And that's just to set up updating. And the problem with this update function is this GPU update is not really supposed to be in here. It's supposed to be in only if we need it. But for the player, it's actually kind of okay. So I'm just going to ignore this for now. I'm just going to say, like, we can call this and update his position real quick. Now, his sprite is wrong. I don't really care at this point. Let's just throw in all the instantiation variables we need and just, like, get them on the screen. Get something on the screen. Because we did them in defined VV type, which is another problem I forget about. It is the main shader type of the player. I don't like these instantiation values. We will have to change them. So let's just, like, instantiate all of them. There should be an alpha color for other purposes, but let's just denote it in here. And it'll be calculated, and if it's calculated between a certain threshold on the CPU side, that's how we'll do the other calculation. We'll set the V-type based on that before we send it to GPU. Okay, let's set the X value to, like, -4, so it's, like, a different position in the button. And that's it. Let's not mess with this too much. So in start game, we'll throw in a player animator and just instantiate it. Start game class. So add character. Yeah, let's just throw it into this add character function. First we need to put it in here. Let's, like, this is, like, our main thing, how we're creating the character for now. There'll be more things packed, the renderer or the controller, yeah. Okay. So am I gonna have to go, like, P player controller, P controller. I don't know what else to call it. It could be also a attributor, I don't know. Okay, P player animator, instantiate that. Obviously we don't need the P here. So just add them. So when this class gets called, make a player. And what we should do is instantiate this to null or 0. I like to use 0 personally because it's always defined. There's none of this C++, C69, C68 problems. Just set it to 0 on this constructor too, just to be really safe. Alright, so now we need to add him to the build. Let's add him to the PC build. Since the PC build is always, like, first because it's easier to test. It's actually faster sometimes on Android, but obviously if I look at the RAM right now usage, Android Studio is using 5 gigs, which is, like, totally acceptable because it's a behemoth blob slop thing. Bloated blob, yeah. It's the bloated blob, but it does its job, what it is. Okay, so here we're going to include player 2 star.cpp, and as we add more player classes, we'll just throw them in there so the star keeps parsing them in. Then we'll include the header file, this player animator.h into this. We might have to write so include /player animator.h, and we'll just try to compile this for now. It's the wrong compilation command, and it's the wrong path. So in start game, Kulo engine, game state, and this is Kulo engine player 2. So we forgot the player. Okay. The other thing we forgot to do is copy paste this command, because my old command, when I pressed up arrow, did not include the other C++ file, so we would have gotten a linker error. Alright, so player animation is not being detected yet. It's a common thing. Kulo engine. Both a Kulo engine file. Oh, player 2. Okay. That's going to mess me up later. I knew it was going to mess me up at some point. I already did. Oh, it's still not working. Okay. Wow, all these sub... Okay, so instead of player animator, and the phone shut down, I don't even know why. Yeah, I care about all this like garbage. They send you the newsfeed updates, and you're just like, what the hell? Why am I looking at this crap? Oh, this is terrible. He like doesn't want to connect to the Wi-Fi on this phone. There's a reset internet button on this phone. That's stupid. I think the router needs to be rebooted or something. Or the little access point I have. What if I disconnect from this shit? Okay. Wow. This phone is being garbage. It would just be nice just to show off how it's on this also phone. Let's just disable Wi-Fi for now for a little bit. I don't know, it just errored out with the Wi-Fi, and then it just got really mad at itself at that Wi-Fi because it shut down. The screen would sleep. It's always like unrelated errors. Okay, so we just misspelled animation. What? Is it still bad? Still can't compile this simple thing? It reconnects the same Wi-Fi. Wow. And the other one went down too. It's probably because these are right next to each other, and Cam Studio is running and eating up all the CPU. Oh, it was connected. Oh, wow. So what the fuck? The other one's disconnected now. That's fucking weird. Can't provide internet. I don't care, just stay connected to this network. Alright, this is why a USB cable is nice. What the hell is up with this? Something's being stupid on Android side. Okay, let's just keep making the player animator class. We should have gotten through this by now. Player animation, player animator. Oh, animation, animator. It's just funny how I called it automation, animation. Oh, it's not just in here. Oh, I need more like potatoes and coffee. That's correct. Oh, it's private within this context. Can I have a private constructor? That's stupid. Obviously, a constructor is like global or something. I mean, it should be public. Make a constructor protected. How would you instantiate that? There is some way, I think. Copy constructor or something stupid. I'm just watching the other phones, like, have Wi-Fi problems. It's funny. Let's check on OBS for that. Okay, so the mic's still working. Amazingly, it's somehow streaming. So, for some reason, I don't have my main sprite here. Where's the Kulo and Mental fat-ass sprite? We have this one. This one. That one's supposed to be like that, I think. Alright, let's just make it this one. Who cares? We have to make it one of them. Can't believe it's not in here. I have all these other sprites that I'm not even using yet. And the buttons can be like more advanced. They can be stretched out because of how they're cut up. Yeah, so the main sprite is sprite number 1 right there. I do have them somewhere in the sprite map. We gotta go look at the sprite map. It's like, damn it. I love looking at this, doing the sprite sheet. It's like the most like funnest thing ever. It's just a fucking database file. It's in C++. And just a bunch of defines. It should be like the number 2 thing. Yeah, player 1 is what its name is. Now I have to go check in here and see if it's in here. It could be in here. LP. It's not in here. Wow. Yeah, because it's like, it's really troublesome to name stuff. Why? Because it's just a lot of work. After you copy paste the coordinates, get the coordinates right. G is what I use to drag this. And I have to not drag it like on top of that line. It's like sprite cutting is like a stupid ass art. The other players are a little higher, so I have to kind of account for that. So he will turn out like kind of stupid, but he is kind of stupid, so. It's like kind of stupid to do this. Alright, undo that. Just a little bit under the feet is good. Okay, that's a little bit under the feet. No move X. Never move by 1. Never move more than 1 dimension in this. That way it's always straight. You need to be straight. Need to eat more food because alright, so this is actually called player 1 now. That's legit. Okay, let's just save this. Now we need to just extract the coordinates. Put them in sprite map. The coordinates should be already alright. Let's just re-extract them so I can show you. And this is where the big notes came in. You can see these 2 triangles and like a quad being defined. So, we'll redefine this. And I like to put like sprite ID, player 1, and then the ID. I should already have it. It's ID 5. ID 5. Later my notation got better. Yeah, it just puts sprite ID and then the cap name. Yeah, I like this notation because it was a lot more just straightforward. So it would be 5 and then player 5, like this. It's the notation I like, and comment right above it. So player start X will be this bottom 05, whatever. It's a little different. It's going to be a little different than the original because I've gotten better at cutting. The start Y is this, I believe. And I also reordered start Y and index and then Y because when we copy paste the 2 last values and X, okay, that looks right, and Y, it was at 1.0. Let's put it down to 0.99691. Okay, that'll cut it a little better. And the sprite ID will be 5 from sprite types. So how to use this now? You just call the array and we extract it from the array in the constructor, and we dump it into the ID. We could also predefine it inside the ID here. So sprite ID will be equal to sprite types, and I have the copy paste code from the other thing. Do I? No, I don't. I do though. It's just in the file. Oh, it might be in the C++ file, not the H file. Yeah, so sprite types. We pass in the ID, and we get the sprite UV. And then we get the sprite UVs, we put them into the UV thing. Kind of convoluted, but it's actually very nice. Like this. So the sprite ID initially should be 5. We will set it again in constructor for stupid safe reasons. And we'll set it again. We'll set it with the define sprite ID player 1, because it could be different players later. We'd like change how the player looks like. I guess he gets disguised or something. Put it in define here, so it's like readable. We'll leave that out as a comment. I don't know why, but it's just so we can see the value. And then when we extract it, we pass in the integer thing. We're allowed to, but if this integer is too high, it's going to get really mad. Okay, and then we later redefine these UV coordinates. And a lot of this stuff doesn't need this float in the beginning, because if it does have this in the beginning, it causes a headache. Undefined compiler behavior, basically. Okay. And so now we're ready to run this. See if it compiles. We should have, yeah, some bullshit error with undefined reference. We can't find the C++ file because it's running the wrong compile command. We just need to copy paste the compile command again. I don't know why it went back to the old one. It just likes doing stuff on its own. It just kind of zombie apocalypse itself. Okay, so we added the player. Oh my god, this screen with errors is like, no. It doesn't know what renderer is. Sprite is not declared in the scope. So we need to include 2 more H files. This was to be like unexpected for me because I'm still waking up, but we add renderer to the H file of the character. Because the character is really what's doing all this OpenGL stuff that's like giving us errors. Put it here, and then we need to add sprite map thing. Sprite map might be included with renderer. So let's just like try it again after it includes sprite map. No, it's not. It's always fun to play like on 10 phones while you're trying to code. It's just a distraction. It's stupid. It's like, yes, I want to enable wireless debugging already. Okay, sprite was not defined. So sprite UVs, sprite types is defined here up top, sprite UV. So we need sprite maps to be included. So cooler engine sprite code. That's what we're missing. I'm just gonna open it in Notepad and copy paste while I open it and then cancel open. There's always like why Notepad++ is so nice because it's fast and you can just do Windows operations faster. And our name is sprite maps.h. It's just like a lot of coding and typing, a lot of coding and typing. And we're already in Kulo engine, so we don't need the Kulo engine part. Select this, include the renderer, include the sprite maps. That'll give sprite animator probably like the whole engine. Alright, sprite animator is not defined in start game. I think we have to write class sprite animator in the top of start game. That is, just put class sprite animator semicolon, and that'll fix this error. It's a really annoying error when you don't know what to do. Okay, wireless debugging enabled. That's good. Actually, the mouse is working. Okay, Cloud Stratus is finally connected. Wow. Okay. Run this on here too, but the file is not included. So the build on Android is about to fail. Oh, undefined symbol. Oh, like what the hell? So we need to change makefiles.list. I'm kind of just jumping from one thing to another, but we'll add it here. There will have to be a Google engine / player2 / sprites. Player underscore animator that's C++. Oh, it detected it. That's pretty cool. And then it put 2 double C++. It's even better. I love IntelliSense. With a passionate morning after coffee #2. That's how much I love IntelliSense. It's like, there you go. And you're gonna do it in the morning. Like, you're gonna go to the bathroom, make a really interesting #2 after your coffee, and that's what IntelliSense does. Sorry. See this guy. That's why I like only using one phone that works really well. Is because of this. This is just like crap. Now this one's messed up, and okay, the build was successful, which is good. I should have just showed how I builded successfully first on PC. Okay, so it built successfully on PC. Let's run it. Let's just see if the character's there. I should have used a different sprite. Okay, press this. He should have appeared somewhere on the screen. Damn it. It's bad. Why didn't we get anything? We need to get rid of this, a lot of this debugging with Minion. One way to get rid of it is not to use it anymore. I will need it later, but it's just like super annoying to just go in there and yeah, and it drops frames. Like you're not seeing what the right thing is going on. It's just like butchering your computer. Okay, one way to do this is close this. Close tab. Reopen it again. Should we run this? Make sure it doesn't, it's same behavior on this, yeah. The button is in the same behavior, which is annoying. Okay. Why though? Okay, we hit that. We should have created a thing. Let's just debug this very fast. One fast way to do it. So we instantiate start game class because it gets called. We never call add character. No, we do call add character. Oh, we never call the. We never tell the constructor and the animator to create player sprite. That might be an issue. Let's create the player sprite. Screw putting an exit and debugging and printing up something that's like bad. It's good, but If you don't have to do it and go erase code later, it's better. It's good to ask the AI stuff, but when it's absolutely like a dead wall. Alright, so it still didn't work. Wow. So that's the iteration time. It takes me, usually, it can take 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sometimes it's faster to compile the Android build than this one. We are compiling standard library, but yeah. That's garbage. Okay, create player sprite. This position, that position. Oh, maybe it's not included in shader. This could be a problem. Let's look at our shared code. So I like to go to the main window for Notepad++ of the main file and then find the shader that way. But because I'm just want to do this really fast, I already did it like this. Okay. So this is the shader version 120. It's like something equivalent to DirectX Shader Model 2 in OpenGL ES 2.0. So it's very potato-ish. It's very like, okay. So we're somewhere in this land, text renderer types. So we've collided with text renderer types. Let's uncollide with them. Set it to 5,000. So we're not using 5,000. If it's 5,000, what will this do? Will it times by projection? This is a really weird part of the statement. I don't like this in the vertex shader right here. I have to get rid of this. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote this. This is a really long time ago. Alright, let's just set it to 5,000 and it should drop into the else and do the default behavior, which would be kind of ideal. The player should be a special case scenario, but there's so many special case scenarios already. The vertex shader can do more calculations in the fragment, but we kind of have to write like the core of the game. That's the goal here. Write the core of the game, stop working on features. And it's like, it's hard because they don't like each other. The core of the game. Oh, and it turns off. Like, why? The other phone just turned off wireless debugging. Okay. Let's go. Redefine the shader. Put this to 4999 is less than 5,000. 5. Frag color. We'll define a new vec4 color player is equal to vec4 And since this is version 120, we have to use texture 2D. Make this just plain RGBA. Then since the position vector is Z, we need to add to player R equals player R plus Z of position 0. This will be like, for now, the default color mixer, I guess. And the other ones were the UV positions. So frag Z and frag W. The R to the, and then set our alpha to 0.8 for fun. Just for like a test of the blending. And then it just said frag color. I don't know if blending is even enabled in the PC version. Damn, I think it is. I keep like getting confused with the other engine, which is kind of good. Okay, now we gotta go and set the actual parameter. Yeah, this is getting messy fast. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Alright, player animator. We have to change the player sprite UV type to 5000. Okay, let's compile it. Stupid Android debugger. Like, what are the devices? Like, ADBA is just like smoked out right now. It doesn't even return. That's funny. Alright, so we should get the player character now. Damn it. What the hell? Why though? Okay, so we got the sprite type. It's being passed in. Our this X should be valid. It's somewhere on the screen. Our width and height should be same, but it's not, but I don't care. Is he behind something? No, he should be on top of everything. Let's just change the position to like... No, we're in the wrong file. Like put them into the corner here. This is a good folder to have noted. Okay. So we're trying to get the player character to appear. Should have been -8, -8, wherever that is. It's either here or here, or here, or here. One of the corners. We don't have anything drawn there, so there's a shit up here. The circles are like test triangles and stuff of the shader, drawing circles. I'm running out of coffee. Why is the width like high? Let's set the width to like lower. Player animator. Get the sprite types. Put the UVs in of the sprites. Create the sprites. We don't need this thing really. Add to the indices. New player animator. Okay, let's just debug this like this. Like this, if it hits this portion, I'm gonna say printf made character, and then I'll even return just exit. So we know that we're hitting the point we're supposed to, and it's just a graphical glitch. Yeah. Of course, it's a graphical glitch. So it's calling this change press state clicked more than once. So main character might be called more than once. Okay, start game is gonna need a little thing. Start game is an error. Start game is already started. Else, let's just do it like this. Maybe one way to do it. Start game class. I believe we have to look at the vertex shader and force this to work by adding under a sub-branch, which I really don't want to do. Now I have to check if anything is between 5,000, which I don't think it is. We could move the value lower. Alright, so that's fine, I think. do this. If I really have to not sub-branch all the platforms then. There has to be like a way. Compile it and just try to get the character on the screen. Probably the shader, because we could tell it's being sent to graphics card. Well, I don't have the GL get buffer thing here, but what I could do is throw this code elsewhere and make it work, but that's not the way. Oh man, the event-driven thing is just crazy. Where is he? Is this sprite coordinates? Like, what is it that's causing this? Let's just blank out the shader first. That just means like set it to like a certain color. What we have to do, maybe move it up to right here. Let's move it up and blank it out. It would be nice after 3000, but I prefer before. Some of these 80s are like circles and stuff. I'll put player shader, and this can't go over 64,000 or 65, whatever, 1,000 because of the medium precision limit. And I think shader model 2 limit. Hopefully the shader isn't like too big for model 2. Why is there a big blue blob? Maybe it's in the wrong game mode. Why is the background being turned to blue? Hold on. It started out as blue, so it's returning from its original state. You hit down button. Yeah, that shouldn't be like that. This down button is like restart, but we're gonna need to change that. We're gonna need to add a lot more states. Some of those text fields are actually more like debug related. Wow. I didn't think this was going to happen right now. Let's change this alpha to 1. Let's change the entire player color to something else. Just change into a red box. It's always like the answer. Just change it to a red box. We don't see a red box. And why is the state so messed up? We're having different issues here than just... I think I need to, like, how it's hard to fart, change the game state and just see what it is, like, why? Huh. I'm confused. How is it not working? I should just go look at one of the other button rendering classes and just be like, what the hell? Probably the position. I did way too much overhead without. What if it changed sprite type to 50 or something? Wow. I wonder what it could be. Just try 0, 2, 0, 2, just like try different values. Until it works. Because we know it's calling it. It's just like being stupid. Because the color thing? No. Shouldn't be that. Everything is right. It's just something stupid. Maybe we should try it on Android, see what that'll do. So yeah, so you see that main character. You should see a box somewhere. Why doesn't the background? Why does the background go back to blue? Oh, that's a hidden gem of a problem. Okay. Background should not go back to blue though. If it's a main menu panel. Key forward, key input. That blue might be overriding this thing, but I don't think so. So RGB, so we know that whatever is blue it's not that one. Probably this crap. How the fuck does this reappear? But the other shit doesn't. Let me see. What the hell? Yeah, the other shit disappeared. So how is this here if that's not there? Unless it's the player quad. But I think it was doing that before. No, on Android it doesn't do that. It's a background yellow quad. What the fuck? I think system pause does something really interesting. Something interesting on Android. It like tries to pause the device and freezes it. don't like what this code does. But who knows if that's the bug that I'm fighting from this stupid back panel, but it's nothing to do with the player. I can't believe the player's not rendering. Okay, UV words, words. It still does that stupid fucking error. Or like you enter the game, but this panel doesn't get hidden. Why? Do this. It's not good because this like calls this every second. How come up down makes it go away though? Maybe we need the cheek taker. So everything being drawn on top has been put on there first. Nope. What about The order is supposed to be like this. Up, this disappears, press it, that's where it disappeared. I'll add character first. Let's not even like mess with these UVs yet. Like, why? I'm gonna try this more statically. Create those sprites. Let's compile this. I tried to do too many things at once. Something is messed up. It's just stupid messed up. The shader is set to just make a red box. Oops, let me compile that again. Okay. That just drives me crazy. That's good. I wonder if it's because I'm adding more stuff and I'm calling the wrong thing. Oh, that is one. I'm a genius. Alright, so let me explain. So we have to call geo buffer data because I should have added the character earlier on and just zeroed out his vertex. You know, I could do this later or now. What would be the best way, the hardest way? We don't really care because we're loading into the game, so we just need to regenerate the whole scene anyway. Maybe we should just trash the entire scene and just generate completely new buffers.